Jets fans, this is GreenBean and welcome back to another late night vlog. We just finished up with a 3-hour and change Thursday thick of it, which was such a blast, but I wanted to share just a few of my thoughts on a couple of the specific turns of events going on with the New York Jets right now, and just let you know how I see it. So before I get into it, I want to remind you to go ahead and hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it would be fantastic if you did. So easy to do, just click that little red rectangular button that says subscribe, and you're done. I appreciate all of your support and hanging out with you guys as much as I get to in the comment section. So we're looking at 1 week left until the NFL draft. If you've been digging into this thing at all this year, you're just about done. We are going to have a countdown. It's going to be like 6 days, 5 days, 4 days. That's what it's going to be, because man, oh man, did we deconstruct everything that we could in this draft. Some of us are still in the process of looking at some players. Some of us have hardened in our stances. We're done looking. I want this guy or that guy, or it's a complete fail. We're all over the place with it. But I think no matter what side you're on, you're kind of ready, right? Is that a fair enough point? We're ready to go. But something else happened while we're doing this countdown and talking about our mocks and everything else. The Jets went and pulled a curve, a little surprising move out of nowhere. I have to admit that I was one of the people who thought Vinny Curry's career, definitely with the Jets, but maybe even in total, that his career was over after last year's discovery of that blood clot issue that he had, and he was taking blood thinners and everything. He did say that he was going to be back, but honestly, I didn't think it was going to be with the Jets. And out of nowhere, we heard no rumblings. None of our fantastic beat reporters sniffed this one out. Not one of them said, hey, I think the Jets have interest in bringing Vinny Curry back. Nothing. And out of nowhere, Jets signed Vinny Curry. So what do we think? Now, some people have asked me, do you think that this means that the Jets aren't going to go edge in the draft? I got to say no. I don't think that. Now, I think it's a solid move in the same way that I think Solomon Thomas is a solid move. I don't think Solomon Thomas is moving the needle one way or the other as far as future acquisitions of players. Maybe it doesn't make a position an urgent position. You know, maybe they feel a little bit better about the rotation on the interior of the defensive line. I think Vinny Curry does the same thing. Don't forget, he was one of 3 edge guys that we brought in last year in free agency, and all 3 weren't able to play on opening day for us. We know Carl Lawson being the biggest of the bunch. He was out for the entire year after an Achilles tear up there practice at Green Bay's practice field. We lost Vinny Curry to the blood clot thing, and then we lost Ronald Blair to an injury as well. So all of the vets that we brought in to help out with the edge rusher situation, they were all gone. When we think about these players that we could be bringing back, we might be well stocked in a position that we were all viewing as a weakness, especially if we use the 4th or 10th pick on a premium edge rusher. So bringing Vinny Curry back, you got to look at what he's been able to do largely for the Eagles, right? He was on the Eagles for their Super Bowl team. He was their starting defensive end on a Super Bowl team, and he was expected to be a part of the rotation and just be solid in that role. We know that he can be a pass rusher at the NFL level. He's getting older, so you might not want to depend on him as your full-time starter, but bringing him in for 20% of the plays would be a really good idea, because we know that he can do the job. Giving whoever's starting a rest, Vinny Curry comes in instead of some undrafted free agent rookie or something along those lines. I think that Vinny Curry brings a positive impact in that type of a role, and I'm sure that he's chomping at the bit to come back and be able to contribute to a team. Look, this is the kind of thing that when it happens, everything that you were having, that you had in your life, you become real grateful for it when it's taken away. What's that saying? Don't know what you got till it's gone, right? This is the kind of thing that could make you real grateful, real appreciative to have the ability to play in the NFL, right? So Vinny Curry is known as a good teammate, known as a good leader, and he's known as an effective edge rusher, and I think it's a positive move, but I don't think that it's going to take the idea of bringing in a premium edge, if that is our plan, off the table. I don't think it does it one way or the other. Now, the other thing that Twitter and Jetnation exploded today when we found out that Mekhi Becton did not show up for voluntaries. Guys, first of all, we already did this explosion. Remember, we already had this debate when Saleh said at the owners' meetings that we were expecting Mekhi back for training camp. We already did this. Why are we mad now again when this is actually happening? We already knew. He already told us. So what are the reasons that he's not at voluntary? Well, number one, it's voluntary, right? Now, that all said, we hope that all of our players would volunteer to be with the team. Fair? Of course. I think that's optimal. If we had 100% attendance, that would be delightful. But there are reasons why someone wouldn't volunteer to come. One, his wife is supposedly about to give birth, or his girlfriend. I don't think they're married, but they're about to give birth. So he's down there in Texas with them. That's also why Connor McGovern is not there. So he's the other guy who's not at voluntaries, because his wife is about to give birth any day now as well. Now, I don't know where they are in their pregnancy, but that is a part of it. Now, would that be enough to not get him into camp? Maybe not, but we have something else. Mekhi Becton, as we know, because we've seen all the videos and all the tweets and the pictures and everything, Mekhi Becton is involved in a rehabilitation program with one of the more well-regarded offensive line trainers out there, Duke Manyweather. He's down there in Texas, where he's near his wife, working with Duke Manyweather, and they're already engaged in his rehab. So it could make a whole bunch of sense not to interrupt that. It could be an incredible positive not to interrupt that, to come up there for the optics of it all. Again, Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh have both said they're in pretty consistent communication with Mekhi Becton and his team. So they knew that he wasn't coming. He wasn't expected to be there. It's not a big deal. And like I said before, again, we already did this. We had this meltdown. So do I think it's a big deal? Absolutely not. Would I have liked to see him there? Sure, of course. Of course, but this is not a big deal in the slightest. The Jets weren't even expecting him to be there. So we know Mekhi Becton's working his ass off. We've seen the videos. He looks svelte. He looks super strong. He looks mobile. Everything looks good. His weight looks down. Everything looks good. That's what we have to go on. Guys, I don't see the reason for a meltdown. Vinny Curry thing, big deal? Maybe not. Positive? Absolutely. 6 days, guys. Let's get there together as one, huh? Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, go Jets.